GM, everybody. Welcome to Wake and Jake. We're going to go through all the stuff that you need to look out for the week, as we usually do. Joined here with our hosts here, Jake and Bake. How are you doing, brother? GM.
Yeah, GM, doing great. Weather's turning up. Warm, warm here in Michigan. Finally, seems like it's about to be summertime. Doing got a lot of stuff to do now, though. Unfortunately, around the house, doing the old yard work and such. Um, and but the market's looking a bit better. Certainly better than what it was last week. So that's always promising. We got some other stuff popping off. Blast ecosystem starting to pop off even more. Glad we've been on it really since the beginning. So yeah, excited to dig in, man. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful, man. Yeah, well said. Sun's shining. We're green, on the week. Today is a little choppy, but excited to dig into that further and get your takes on macro and just, what you're thinking about the market and stuff too. I know last week we talked about some levels to watch, kind of went into a whole spiel about the different support ranges and stuff. So curious to, kind of revisit that and see how things played out and what you're thinking for the week ahead. So, talk to me. Yeah, I woke up this morning. I was feeling bullish, and then I just saw a big red wick today. I didn't know what was going on, but it's always something every day in crypto. So I figure you might have some insights there. I read Relic's field report, the crypto glance, and it was seeming pretty bullish. It seems like we have some work ahead of us, but the indicators seem pretty good. So talk to me, brother. How's macro looking?
Yeah, on the week we're pretty green. Thankfully, I think last week on Monday, I believe we were in the around the 50. I think we had just dumped a bit. We may be in like 60K area. I think we oh yeah, we were around probably like 60K or so, 61K. Um, and I brought up a tweet from Crypto Don Alt, kind of just giving his take on direction. And I really liked it, and it kind of gave us a really good framework for what's going to happen. It was, last week it was kind of wait and see mode, and there's a couple different possibilities. One, we could just go straight from where we were at, which was around 61K, up to like 67K, and that would be pretty bullish. Or because we were really knocking on this support that was around 60, about 58K to 62K. We'd bounced off it a few times in the last, couple months, and it was really looking pretty weak. And if we were able to, just kind of capitulate down through that support, and then reclaim it pretty quick, that would be a bullish signal, and that's actually exactly what we did. Over this past week, we dropped down to around a little bit under 57K. And then quickly reclaimed it in a couple days. Now sitting back above 65, 6 at the moment. We got up to 60, actually, or sorry, 63, 5 at the moment. And we got up all the way. I'm talking Bitcoin, by the way, all the way up to 65, 5 early this morning. We saw some red today. That was a result of there was a the SEC sent out a Wells notice to Robinhood actually regarding their crypto products. I haven't seen actually exactly like any details around what exactly they are the Wells notice was for with those crypto products. Um, but this is also like not it's notable because it's a big company like Robinhood, but it's also not something that's new in terms of the strategy of SEC. They've sent these same Wells notices to a number of companies. I believe MetaMask, Coinbase, a couple other big ones. Really, just typical SEC under Gensler. It's regulation by. I saw someone say regulation by intimidation. I thought that was a really good moniker for how they've been treating the crypto industry, where it's just they don't provide any guidelines, but they just come down hard on these companies without really giving any framework for them to work in. So it's super unfortunate. It's obviously negative news, and that is what affected the market. But I think if we're able to really bounce back from that notice, it would be a very bullish sign if we were to get back over 65. And really, the level I think that we're looking for is about 67K to be like feeling real good. But just in general, I'm feeling pretty bullish because of that. Again, what I talked about before, that break under 57K that we saw last week, and then we reclaiming that very fast. That was a pretty bullish signal. Um, and hopefully, we make a quick run back up to 70K, and then new highs from there is the ideal look. Yeah, on other fronts, meme coins are the other story here. They took a pretty brutal beating, during the chop and during the dip, and since they've had some really nice recovery. Riff is back to about 3.5 area or so, 3.42 right now. Pepe is back up. Some other new meme coins they're starting to pop up again. It's I think like Michi and USA are some of the big ones. There's even like new coins that are starting to pop off. So people are a little bit more risk on. Like there's the AI coin. I think yesterday, some coin that AI made, and that popped off to like almost like 10 mil, and then I found they like rugged and it's like dead now. I'm pretty sure, but it just shows that there's a little bit more risk on in the market for these type of things, which is a good thing. Hopefully, we continue. I'd say my current feeling right now is optimistic. Um, I'm really hoping we can kind of reclaim where we were for that Wells notice uh, happened earlier this morning. If we can get back above like 65, I'd probably be feeling real good. And then 67 next level, probably real good, and just uh, very bullish all around. But yeah, right now it's things are looking good.
Love it, man. Appreciate the take. Any difference in opinion for Ethereum or Solana, or kind of just all tied together in the same boat? Or are there anything that make those stand out to you in the coming week or beyond?
Yeah, man. ETH has been a hard one to predict. The ETH BTC ratio has been chopping around quite a bit. It looked like ETH finally wanted to bounce, and then it would take a hit again versus Bitcoin, and then looked like it wants to bounce again, then it take a hit again. I think recently it's down. I want to say I don't have it in front of me, but um, Solana is looking good at least. Solana, yeah, ETH BTC is down at the moment um, for the last couple days. After it was looking pretty good. So I don't know. It's hard. Like it keeps seeming like ETH's gonna break out. Then it doesn't. Really, Solana is the one that showed more strength. That's broke out against ETH as well as Bitcoin recently. It seems like it's the one popping up the most off of its lows, as well as the Solana meme coins are kind of following suit in that order. So it's really seeming like, and personally, I think I'm very bullish on Solana this cycle. I think it just makes a lot of sense um, as a cycle play with having acquiring just so many more users and infrastructure and products, legitimate products being built over there, and no longer has the overhang of SBF and FTX stuff being like the FTX coin anymore. It's kind of like the people's coin in a way. So I think it has a good narrative, as well as it's looking pretty good in terms of price action, where it's really just been a leader. A lot of these times when we see these dips and then the bounces, it's a lot of times the highest gainer, and we like to see that kind of relative strength.
I'm gonna jump in real quick. 50 seconds if you want to jump in on this District One rally. Forgot to give a heads up at the top of the show, but yeah, you still got a minute if you want to jump in there. Yeah, love the take. I would like to pause too, and just if anybody here listening wants to jump in, unmute, and let us know if you have any thoughts on macro or micro. Just yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum, just general market stuff. But yeah, if anybody has any thoughts, love to hear your opinions as we get ready for this gym airdrop in 20 seconds.
Oh, I don't know if I got in or not. I did it with like 5 seconds left, and it was loading.
It's showing you as a rally for the space. I think you're in there.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, we got in, baby. Full 5K or. Ooh.
Just under 5K. We will take those. Beautiful. Well, yeah, just again, if anybody wants to jump in macro, happy to hear your thoughts before we kind of move along here to some trends and topics for the episode. But love to hear the voices. So yeah, if anybody wants to jump in, now's the time.
The
All right,
macro
beautiful.
situation's rough, dude.
It's rough. It's rough out here.
You see
Yeah.
you see Taco Bell prices?
I'm familiar. Yeah, it's pretty fucking outrageous.
Yeah, I'll base my macro off of fast food prices and probably a pretty solid indicator.
They need to start just telling us the prices like in Seoul or something, Just switch that conversion on us.
Right.
All right, cool. Well, we can move on to some topics and stuff. Eager to hear what you're focused on this week, Jake. I know we've got some SocialFi stuff. We've got tokens. We got the Blast lottery and stuff. So or jackpot. So eager to hear what your eyes are on, man. So what do you want to kick us off with this week?
Yeah, there's a good amount to talk about. I think we can touch on. I really want to touch on the fantasy top stuff. That's probably one of the hottest things in the streets right now at the moment. Unfortunately, I I faded it. I said on the last episode, and I'm gonna eat my words. Well, I am eating my words now. I said that I wasn't a fan of it. At least how it works. But it's actually doing extremely well. So I'll hold my L there happily because a lot of MVHQ people did get in on it and did very well. So that's really great to see. I think pretty much everyone who like opened a pack is like in profit over the past week. So that's really cool. Um, it's good to see. It's kind of like max speculation mode at the moment. I would say again, like I'm like worried about giving my take because I was wrong the first time. But right now it feels like before like the main tournament is starting today in about a little less than 3 hours. And prices across the board have pumped because people are building their lineups for this main tournament. And it feels a little, um, it feels a little frothy here. It feels like prices will probably come down, after the tournament gets going. But, um, but yeah, I just want to dig in general on fantasy top. I'm kind of gonna go back on what I said originally. I was bearish on it, and I didn't look into it enough, honestly, to be giving probably that kind of take. I honestly didn't even like go onto the website before I gave that take, and I'm now realizing that it's basically like another product that I really love, which is Rainmakers. It's basically that, but for influencers instead of fantasy football players or NFL players. So it's actually pretty interesting. It's got a marketplace, has cards. I should probably just start from the beginning if anyone doesn't know what fantasy top is. You basically make a lineup of five cards, and these cards are all these different crypto Twitter influencers, if you will. And then there's a tournament, the main tourney, which starts today, lasts for 4 days, and it's basically scored by how much reach these influencers have on their tweets over that course of the 4 days. So I think my initial turnoff was that okay, this can be gamed pretty easily, or people are going to be a little bit more unbearable on Twitter just because they're trying to like farm their or boost up their score and whatever. Um, which might happen, remains to be seen. But also in crypto, you wanna try out new things and trying to be early to things, and that's kind of something I overlooked in this. Is that it is very early and it was gaining a lot of attention, so it shouldn't have been something that I just blindly faded. It should have been something that I at least looked into a little bit and see if I liked, which I did finally do over the past day or so. And it does seem pretty interesting. I'm excited actually for this tournament. Building my lineup right now. Um, but anyway, uh, so you can buy packs. There was a discount window. There's still some confusing messaging right now. They said it was open for the next 24 hours, but it seems like you had to have signed up already. And that window's over for you to like get a discounted pack. which are pretty cheap. I think it was like 0.033 or 0.066 or something like that for a pack um, of 5 cards. Otherwise, packs are going for, I believe, 0.366 right now, which is the highest they've gone for. It's kind of on like this bonding curve. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but what am I missing here? Yeah, I think the tournament today it pays out. They just released the prize pool of it. Um, it pays out in total. Right now, there's almost 16,000 lineups that have been entered into it. And it pays out 222,000 blast gold. So, a pretty hefty amount of gold. So we love to see that. I think that's equivalent to about, I mean, if you're going about, $10 per gold, that's about $2.2 million right there. As well as 50 ETH. Um, I believe they're giving out cards as well. I don't think they've given us exact amount of cards that they're giving out, and then they're also giving out fantasy points, which I believe go towards whatever their token airdrop is, and then stars, which is like a lottery where you can use for like this lottery system that they have as well. So about 5 different prizes. Seems like a pretty juicy first initial prize pool. I'm at least gonna enter a lineup just to see how it goes. Their main guy on their founder Travis Brittle or something like that. He tweeted, something about how like products should be making their early users as rich as possible. So I think that's also kind of leading to some of the speculation. And um, I do agree with as well. I think it's smart to really reward early users as much as possible. So it seems like maybe this main tournament will be pretty juicy to at least get in. Um, yeah, I don't think it hurts getting your feet wet right now, even though I do think prices are inflated right now. So I'm not going to go pretty hard until likely after this tournament and try and get some discounts. But yeah, I just wanted to give a quick rundown. I know a lot of people are in fantasy top right now, so I'd love to hear other people's thoughts on products, their bull or bear case on it, as well as maybe some strategy stuff.
I
Yeah.
had one.
Go ahead, TC.
All right, yeah, appreciate it. I just had one question for him just to follow up before we move on or move to other people. How did you dug in and were flipped a little bit bullish there? How did you get around your initial reservation about them gaming the system? Because that was my first initial reaction just now too, right before the show. It's like, man, won't they just cabal it up and schedule their tweets and stuff? So is that still a risk you think, or was there something you learned that made you not as worried about that?
I think it's still, I think it's still part of it, but it's almost like I kind of just shifted my mindset to like that's part of the game, right? That's part of the game theory of like who's gonna be the one who's gonna like try really hard to do that, and like those are the cards that you want most. You kind of just gotta like ignore the fact that it might be annoying or cringe or whatever. And also I have seen like some of the leaderboard, and I saw some people higher up there that I wasn't expecting to see. And I thought they were there for a good reason. Like Web3 Quant, for instance, was like top 5, even though he has like not nearly as many followers as a lot of these other big accounts. But he has super good analysis on the crypto market. So it's good to see that they're actually like, it seems like they're rewarding like, how should I say, like actual real engagement. Because for him, at least just this is like one anecdotal piece, but just for him, I thought he has really good content. And the fact that he was already top 5 was pretty shocking to me, given that he has probably on the lower end for most of these in terms of his follower count. So it seems like they're doing a good job filtering out bots. They have their own. They said they have a pretty good, bot filter system. I'm sure like I think it's pretty warranted to be skeptical on that. But yeah, I think mainly it's just it's part of the game theory to trying to figure out who exactly is gonna really try to boost their number, and that those are probably the cards you want.
Love it. Yeah, fair take. Whatever you may consider cheating, if everyone can do it, then is it really cheating? Well, I love it. Seth, I didn't mean to cut you off, man. Could you want to
No,
jump in
you're
with your
good,
question
dude.
here? Thanks.
I was just gonna touch on a few things we've kind of discovered, experienced. starting with what Jake just left off with, they have done a good job quickly reversing bot activity. So like Nate Alex, and it's not just on the hero is what the cards are called, right? Other people could bot their accounts for their own purposes to pump a price or whatever. But so this isn't anything against like Nate Alex or founders or heroes, but when they do pump, Nate Alex jumped up to like number 35 earlier, and then within an hour it was corrected and he dropped down to like 118, something in that range. So they do correct fairly quickly. So if you do see big spikes and you're holding, it's probably a good idea to sell into those pumps. And if you see those big spikes, I wouldn't FOMO into those buys without researching whether or not it's been realistic activity or not. Another thing that I found really interesting was that um, his name is Travis Bickle, which is actually pretty cool because he's named after the main character from Taxi Driver. But he he just straight up got rid of two heroes because they weren't being good members of the ecosystem for their holders. They weren't tweeting a lot. They didn't like grind during the first mini tournament. He just got rid of their cards, and then if you were holding them, they replaced it with an equal rarity and close to equal ranking. So I thought that was pretty cool. The website's a little tough right now with a lot of people trying to build decks in terms of trying to buy and sell. Not sure how much that's affecting prices. We are speculating since this is a 4-day tournament and Travis Bickle is a pretty big degen in terms of his tweets that we're pretty confident that they're going to launch some sub tournaments during this tournament. Um, so if you do have a bunch of stuff listed, watch the prices on those things. And once those sub tournaments are announced, you can see some commons spiking throughout this tournament, the main tournament. Um, I would really be paying attention to, the marketplace for what you're holding. I think things are going to get pretty crazy. Another note is that Pac-Man is actively playing, and he's also actively started participating in multiple ecosystems, from buying like a Blastopian to buying some coins, asking the community what he should be buying. He published his alt wallet so people can track what he's doing. So he's being very clear on his activity. But the fact that he's playing and he's playing his card has pumped his price pretty nicely. I also think it says good things about the project itself that he's actively playing it. Um, in terms of like manipulating or anything like that, I think THC and Jake both got to the root of it. Is that it is part of the game, and if you see that activity instead of spiting it, you should probably lean into it a little bit. It also is a reason to kind of look at lower valued cards right now and kind of watching how they behave during this main tournament. That first tournament might not have been the best indicator for how people will behave, especially with Travis saying or actively getting rid of heroes. That could motivate some people because they're getting their ETH. Heroes are getting their ETH drop today, and I guarantee you that's going to create a ton of engagement for the project in and of itself. I mean, they're completely motivated to talk about this thing. So there's a lot of interesting stuff. I kind of started speculating on building lineups with correlation last night. In certain types of players you might want to put together, right? Like there's a grinder who's going to be tweeting no matter what. I would always have one or two of those at least in my lineup. And then you could take a shot with like I call him like a one shot killer, like somebody who's going to come out and like a Pac-Man, right? Pac-Man posts something, it's going to be a hit no matter what. So you get a hit on one of those, it's probably going to do really good for your lineup. And at the same time, you probably don't want to play too many of those types of players, right? And then I also put out like a player called a reporter who you can depend on for macro news as well as ecosystem news. Any sort of FUD on a major project, they're going to be tweeting about. And then you can correlate that with founders who might be launching something that could either get a lot of hype or a lot of FUD. So I'm trying to think about the game in a more like DFS Rainmaker's way instead of just trying to stack my deck for you know as many points as possible without really thinking about where they're coming from. But yeah, those are some things I've been considering and we've been discussing. I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty more to go off. But yeah, if anybody has any thoughts or wants to talk about any of that, that'd be cool.
Seth, what's up with the upgrading of the cards? I played like the test net and I did get like two of the same card and I could turn them into an epic or something. Are they still doing?
Yeah, you need 5 commons to make a rare, 5 rares to make an epic, 5 epics to make a legendary. So that stacks up really heavily. I am speculating that rare lineups outside of rare contests only. We are speculating they will have rarity based contests. So I think commons going to be the most normal rarity based contest they'll have. So commons will have value, but I don't think in these general main tournaments, rares are going to hold their weight for much longer. They might not even be great plays today. I mean, I'm still going to play them because that's all I have. But I think people are going to keep on forging into higher rarities. Um, and I think that's really good for people that are looking to exit, right? So, yeah, so you need basically, I think, what is it, 100 commons to make a legendary? Would that be the math on that? Or would it be 125 commons to make a legendary? So you can see how if somebody wants to sweep commons to make a legendary, that the floor price of a common could really benefit all in one go. And we might see some of that in the hour, in the last hour leading up to this tournament. So I would say if you have a lot of commons, like I listed all my commons like 100 down the listings, which is, you know, between a 30 and a 100x from the current floor price. Of course, people can inject more commons that aren't listed into that and undercut you. So I'm going to just be monitoring all of my listings for the next 2 hours before the tournament launches.
There's also a small chance you forge something of like a higher rarity, like legendary. Simon hit a Pac-Man, bro, by by forging five. Like, I think it was common Pac-Mans. He hit a
Yeah, dude.
legendary Pac-Man. That's super
Five
rare. Like you're not.
commons, you got a
Yeah,
legendary, dude.
he made 12 ETH on that, bro. But that's like super rare.
There's this 0.1% chance. Do you did they show the other chances? Like chance it goes to epic as well? A
I think I've
1%
seen.
chance. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was gonna say 100. I'm pretty sure it's 1 in 100.
Man, I'm
I've
trying to
forged a
get
lot.
my
Only gotten rares, so I'm hoping my odds are getting better.
Yeah, it's not worth the gamble, but I mean, if you get lucky, you get lucky.
Sorry about that, THC.
oh, you're good. I'm pulling my hair out over here. I'm trying to get my last discounted pack, my .066 pack while you guys are doing this whole spiel. It's not working. Oh, actually, you know what? It looks like it worked. It took my ETH finally. Man, that was a headache, dude. Because like when you sell
Oh,
the cards, you get ETH, but then you need ETH deposited into Fantasy Top to pay for the fees. So that was fun, but finally worked though. Let's go.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
website's getting wrecked right now.
Oh, it's
Lots of
fucking bricked.
activity.
Yeah, Jake, you mentioned like the bonding curve earlier. If you click buy pack on their site, you can see like the chart and like the price of the packs just going up. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this founder is like the type of guy you want, right, for a project. He's not web 2, he's not super professional. He's shilling his own shit. He's shilling his own cards. Like it's kind of what you want at this stage in a project, which I wish I would have. I knew I saw that in him when this project launched and I did not buy a bunch of his cards, which was a huge mistake.
Yeah, he's using the Fantasy Top account to retweet his post, so it's pretty OP.
Yeah, I'll say like I think long term it might be tough. It depends on it just depends. It depends on how big of prize pools they're going to be able to continue to offer. Like right now, especially before Blast TGE, I think they have a pretty big advantage with how much gold they were given. They were the second most, alongside like District One, in terms of like Blast distribution to projects. They got over this last distribution, I think they got like over 700,000 Blast Gold, and I'm sure like the next one they'll get a bunch as well. And that's certainly inflating, how much they are able to give out in these projects or in these prize pools because they're giving over 200K, which is at $10, $2 million or so, at around current estimates of what Blast Gold is going to be. and then they're also raking in like quite a lot of money. I'm not sure what the last I'm not sure what they're at now, but I think I saw it was like over 2K ETH that they've made already um, from people, and it just and if they're able to continue to give that back in the form of tournaments, then I think this product can sustain itself for at least long enough to hopefully make some decent profit for those who are getting in early and playing the market right. I think that's what's fun about it is the speculation on the secondary market side of things. That's probably what's attracting me the most, and something I initially overlooked, and I'm kind of mad at myself for, is that it works a lot like if you played Rainmakers, just trying to like flip accounts, you can like do the speculation of trying to flip accounts that you think are undervalued compared to how much reach they'll have. You can kind of, you can put in the more work you put into it, the more you can get out of it. You can do research on, who you think's gonna try hard during these tournaments, who you think's like an up and coming account that's gonna get more attention over the next couple weeks during the tournaments, things like that nature. I think it could be pretty fun, the whole speculation part of it, as well as ripping packs. People love to rip packs, and because it's just like the unknown, it's like the Peter Griffin Family Guy, where it's like you could have a boat or you could have this mystery box. He's like anything could be in this mystery box. That's kind of how it is. People like the RNG game of being able to hit something big out of packs. So if those, maintain at least an affordable price, which right now it seems like a lot right now, but they don't really have good breakdowns on what's the odds are, at least from what I've seen. Maybe they have it somewhere. Um, yeah, I think it's an enticing product. I'm upset at myself for fading initially, but I'm not going to right now. I'm kind of like cautiously putting my foot in the water here and seeing how it goes. And if it's something that continues to look pretty good, I'll probably try and buy some dips, which I'm anticipating happening after this tournament's over and some of the hype has gone down a bit. I would expect, and some floor prices to go down after a bunch of new supply comes out as well.
Yeah, one other thing is that um they create this wallet for you, right? That you have to use. So make sure if you are playing that you link that wallet to your Blast account and you put those fantasy cards in your jackpot deck. It already won once, but I'm sure it has a chance, like a pretty good chance to win again with the volume.
It's a really
Yeah.
good shout. Thanks for that. Yeah, I wanted to bring up the blast jackpot stuff too once we were done talking about this. But yeah, excellent call there on connecting the wallet.
It made almost 5 gold per card, but that's because a lot of people didn't know how to connect their wallets and they didn't do it. Um, it might be less next jackpot. It might even be more because they only hit a 16%. So I did it, but I fucked it up. I linked it to a new blast account like an idiot, but it's okay. I'll still get those rewards somewhere. Just they're not going to be linked to my main wallet, to my main account.
Yeah, and there's no real concern there because even if they are linked to your main account, you will claim the token at airdrop on that separate account. It just kind of makes it easier to observe what's going on when you link them. And the other thing it does is it links your multiplier. Um, but you won't be able to claim all the linked accounts from one wallet when token goes live.
Yeah, on the other side of it, I'm not too mad that I made it on a secondary blast account because now I get more slots for the jackpot. Like I won't have to take out my main slots. You only get what 6 or 8 on your account. So now I have my secondary account. If I want, I'll feed new slots into that one.
Yeah, Cap and Seth both shared this flip side crypto card as well that gives you some good analytics around fantasy top, the marketplace and such. Looks like the team wallet has 3K ETH in there right now. I'm sure that's going up pretty quickly as people buy more packs and they earn more from marketplace volume. Um, as long as as I said, as long as they keep adding a good amount into these prize pools with that ETH as well as Blast Gold, then I think this can at least sustain itself for a while. You just kind of have to pay attention to things like new card supply coming in, as well as timing of tournaments and requirements for tournaments. I believe, Seth mentioned, how there's might do some sub tournaments based around, only rarity or like only PFPs or different things of that nature. I believe people in testnet um participated in like different types of tourneys than what they've offered so far on mainnet. Um I could give you a bit of a guide of what bite me next, and you kind of play the market and speculate on what might pump given different requirements for tournaments as well.
Yeah, just really quick, some of those tournaments were rarity based. Mostly, I think common was the main one. Um, Less than 20,000 followers, maybe less than 10,000 followers. Um, PFP based and founder based. So if they're a founder of a project, they might have their own sub tournament also. So there's at least four, maybe double that possible categories for sub tournaments.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Yes, if you want to participate, main tourney locks in about 2 hours from now. Anything else on Fantasy Top?
I've got nothing, sir.
Good as well.
Beautiful. Well, yeah. If anybody has anything on the Blast Jackpot, I'm still kind of wrapping my head around it. Seems like there's so many different things on there, but it's probably simpler than I'm giving it credit for. I'd love to hear any takes or opinions about that. I did want to shout out quickly though, just on the topic of Blast. The Blast MVHQ mission NFTs turned out to be a fucking cook. Like a lot of those pumped really hard once the Blast jackpot stuff came out, because they could be plugged in to like fill out your cards or like your leaderboard or whatever. So yeah, those if you minted the NFTs from doing missions, go check your just go to Blur and switch over to Blast and check your portfolio. Some of those, I mean, fuck, they're like $3 to mint, and they have like a $30 floor. So that's a very solid return on a lot of those. So definitely go check if you participated in missions for Blast. Um, on the topic of missions, there are two that end this week. One is Blast Domains, and one is Straight Fire, which ends tomorrow. But okay, damn, we're getting some alpha here in the chat for jackpot, some FAQs,
Yeah,
links.
I can talk about Jackpot. It's pretty
Beautiful, yeah.
straightforward. Yeah, you just go on their website, and basically any ERC 721 or ERC 20 token on Blast is able to qualify for this jackpot. I think realistically, at least based on the sample size we have so far, it seems as though the most popular ones are going to have a lot greater chance of actually hitting the jackpot. The only two that have won so far are Pac Moon, which is um, the biggest ERC 20 on Blast, and then the Fantasy Top cards, which are I'm pretty sure the biggest NFT collection on Blast now as well. Um, and yeah, Cap posted the FAQ down there, so you kind of see how they're weighting this. Um, where it's determined on several different factors. Some of them are quantitative as well as qualitative. So it's kind of interesting exactly what their weighting system is, but it's distribution, tokenomics, as community engagement growth. So they're looking at socials as well, market cap liquidity, how new the token is. They even have like artwork and the general collection quality. So, like as I said, qualitative things are in there as well. And then it says other disclosed factors to prevent manipulation. So it's kind of hard to really tell, but I'd probably assume that based on whatever the bigger collections are, they probably have a lot greater chance at winning. So it also says, I believe on there, I think it said something about if they won already, then there's less of a chance. Or no, the new tokens just have more of a chance, is what it was. So you can win multiple times. So like Pac Moon and Blastopians can win again. Even though they've already won once. And it's also based on, how much of the collection you own. Um, so it's weighted, So like we said earlier, each fantasy top card got you 5 gold per. Um, if you had those in there. So yeah, absolutely want to. It's free to do, so you absolutely want to at least put your cards in this jackpot lineup. because it's rolling every single block that's going on. You can see it on there. So it's like every 5 seconds or so, there's a chance that jackpot hits. So you want to at least put in what you have on the off chance that those hit into that blast thing. So Ranch asks, how do I add my wallet? I believe you just connect your wallet to the site.
Yeah, and if you
And
want to
then
link it,
and
you
then
got to connect it to the same Twitter.
oh, you connected to your Twitter. Okay. Good shout. Can you do multiple wallets? I think you can, right?
In which element?
This blast airdrop, I'm pretty sure you can for the
Yeah,
jackpot.
yeah.
Yeah.
But to do the jackpot on each individual wallet, you have to actually change that wallet in MetaMask and go into it and set. So, like for fantasy, I was only able to use those fantasy cards on the fantasy wallet. Um, you can't
Right.
access you can't access those assets from your main. But one thing to shout, when it comes to tokens, I did a little test with Pack. Um, if you have your pack LP'd or staked somewhere and you have the W pack token, and this goes for all of the tokens. If the regular token wins, you also win with the wrapped token. I was worried about that, so I wrapped half my pack moon, and then I put both my wrapped pack moon and my regular into my deck. And on the view past winners history, it shows that for that first jackpot, I won on both. So um, now I know that I only have to play that once and not take up 2 slots for the wrapped and the regular.
Yeah, good shout.
Does it mean you win if you have, or is it do you have to have both? And like, let's say you don't put both into your deck. Maybe you're not getting from both, because I also had them both in my deck, but I'm guessing some people didn't. I think I had some on Wasabi, and I had that one in my deck, and then I had the here go see. Yeah, I had the Wasabi one and the regular one in my deck, and I got hit on both. But does anybody in here? Did anybody in here only have one? I'd love to hear from them and see what they got.
I don't know.
Because this looks like it was split, right? And if you didn't have the pack from regular pack, well, maybe you didn't get it, or vice
Yeah,
Oh
it
versa.
seems
shit!
like you have to
Yeah,
have
yeah,
it in your
you're
deck
right.
in
You're
order
right.
to
You're right.
qualify.
You're right. Yeah, that's right. Fuck. Delete what I just said when you edit. I was about to wrap the rest of mine based off what I was saying, so it's failing. So I'm just gonna let it fail.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you could technically, because that's how you're gonna save a spot, is having it all consolidated into one, right? You won't have to have two spots if you don't have pack moon and pack. You'll be able to only use one slot. But if you have it split, you're gonna need both in your deck, basically.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, that's accurate. That makes sense. I can't even deposit it into the vault anymore, though.
Yeah, so I think this is going. I'm not sure how long this is lasting. I'm assuming until like TG the jackpot is, but it's a lot of gold. Getting there's like a million in there right now, and it's going up by I don't know, like I'm not sure how much this is per minute, but it seems like at least like a couple hundred per minute, maybe, based on the rate of it. A few gold every second. So yeah, it's pretty big, and that's resulting in a lot of these, a lot of pumps, in the NFT market. That combined with the rewards that people are getting for bidding on NFTs on Blur, it's kind of like two catalysts, pretty big catalysts coming in back to back here on Blur NFTs, and we're seeing that play out in the marketplace where I think we're Blastopians. Um, I don't know why my auto refresher is on. It's driving me crazy, so I can't see the collections right now. Um, but I think Blastopian's around point 0.4 or so last time I checked. And then I can't think of what the other collection name was. The really popular Pluto Cats. Those got up to like 2.4 or so. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
got
the
you live
Pop
here.
Rex up.
Blastopian 0.37. Pluto Cats are at 2. Was you about to say Pack Wrecked 0.26?
Yeah, I got it up now.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, Crypto Valley stuff. So I mean, if you look at the 1 day change, it's pretty green across the board for Blast NFTs. All these top collections, as people are both farming, on the Blur side with bids, as well as buying these up so they can hopefully hit this jackpot and win some blast gold as well. So um,
Just be careful.
yeah, it's pretty good to see. Pretty good to see. I know we've been pretty big on the blast ecosystem here in MVHQ. We've been talking about it quite a bit. So um, hopefully a lot of people have been doing well on it, and hopefully these farms continue to be successful for us.
Yeah, these one-day changes across the board are just wild. I mean, the Crypto Valley adventures that you shouted out, there, 0.1 yesterday, so just 2x from yesterday. It's pretty crazy. Haven't seen green like this in a long time on a blurred homepage.
The farming is pretty volatile though. I would like Plutocats were at 2.4 about an hour ago. Somebody just dumped 380 for an $800,000 profit in the last 5 days, dropped all the way down to 1.8. A lot of people got filled at that 2.4 level. So you do need to be careful. Blastopians were at 4.41. They're back down to 0.37. And these are all farming. None of this has to do with the quality of a project. So if you're thin on liquidity, maybe put your bids a little bit down the line and really closely monitor them if you're not trying to get filled.
The good thing is there's not too many projects to choose from, so they'll be pumping and dumping and being very volatile, but that the focus is going to be on these 10 or 15 projects. So just try not to buy tops. Try to time your entries lower if you can. But yeah, super
All
heavy manipulated. Like if you look at any chart, you pull it up and you're like, wow, there's like two or three that have been just pumping nonstop, like Blastopians. But then there's some that went through crazy pumps, then massive dumps, then another crazy pump, and it's a dangerous game. Just be careful.
Yep. Yeah, great shout. Just like the we saw with the main ETH NFT game with these blur, there's gonna be a lot of manipulation going on.
Scotco asked a
Right.
question a minute ago that I don't know the answer to. So, Jake, do you want to take a stab at it if you know? He asked for a resource to see top token holder counts for Blast, ERC20s, and 721s. Try and predict the
Yeah,
winners.
you can just go under the token and look at holders, and
Just
then
Blast scan.
it's pretty manual.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, just like ETH, you can use blast scan like Etherscan, kinda. Yeah, quick shout. Ryan H just posted. Looks like Tensor is doing an additional claim here for power users. They just posted about 20 minutes ago. Um, so if you were using Tensor on Solana, you might have gotten a little bonus here of Tensor allocation. I'm about to see right now if I got anything.
Is this Tensor saying, we're sorry?
Seems like it. Power user eligible to claim an extra 2.3% of Tensor supply linear to their activity on Tensor protocols. Yeah, my main wallet's not even eligible. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the cutoff was.
Well, if you're not a
That's too
power
bad.
user, we're probably shit out of luck. I got one more thing. It's not blast. It's kind of off topic. If you think we're good and can wrap up that convo, I got one more thing that's got me a little excited this week.
Yeah.
Drop a link here in voice hangout chat. Immutable. Immutable's going hard on the gaming front. They have like an ongoing campaign where they're giving out $50 million in rewards for a combination of things. So it's like social quest. There are actual games that you can fucking play, which kind of blew my mind. They seem to have a decent catalog of games that are in early access or beta. But you can earn points and rewards from doing those. It also seemed like there's just like regular game rewards. Like one of the quests was play Elden Ring for an hour. It's like, okay, bet. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. It's not even a week old here, I think. Yeah. So jump on it if you're looking to test some games, get some early access, farm Immutable. They have like daily logins. You can get like one gem a day just by logging in and using their new sort of. They have like a new wallet called Passport. Looks pretty slick. It almost looks like a wallet integration that you would see like in Steam or something that connects to different games and stuff. So just create your immutable passport, get your daily one gem for logging in, or if you hold 20 IMX token, you can get 3 gems a day, and you can look like Cap, who is flexing on us in voice hangout chat right now. But yeah, seemed pretty cool. There's a few games. I can drop one more link here. There's a few games that you can sign up for early access by just like clicking one button. So I'll dig up the link for that. Yeah, this one has kind of a silly name. It's Wag Me Games. So bearish on the branding, but you can just tap one button and register for early access on that one, and then check out the other link I dropped for the IMX sort of campaign and ecosystem and stuff they got going. Also, one more shout on the gaming front. This is on IMX, but Metalcore, the beta is out right now, where it's live. So if you signed up for that, like punch your email in, check your email for a code. The beta is going to run until the 14th, which is next Tuesday. So that one looks pretty sweet. I haven't got to play it yet, but I am pretty excited to jump into that one this week, and hopefully get some IMX points, or if there's a quest for it, knock that out as well. But yeah, I just wanted to share. It's pretty exciting. Actually seeing some decent looking games come across my feed here.
Hell yeah.
That was all I had for that. Just a quick little shout. Let's see. I'm going through. I didn't really have anything else for the week. We did have 2 field reports. I can do them really quick. D Bridge, a better bridge, another farm by Underwater Llama. This is, yet another farm that we can engage in here. Seems to be an orbiter sort of competitor. Hopefully not a copy. We don't want to go through all that again, but yeah, just something else to throw on your radar. Fast and cheap. And then we had the crypto market quick
All right,
glance by Relic.
real quick related on that. D-Bank just announced, they just posted that they took a snapshot, or says, "Are you ready for this?" And it's a snapshot picture. D-Bank owns E-Bridge as well as Rabby too. So maybe we're having something incoming for one of those products or both. I just wanted to note that.
Fuck yeah, thank you. Yeah, you love to see it. So even more kudos, maybe a blessing or two for Llama for getting that field report up before that snapshot tweet. That's pretty lit. Yeah, the other one was Crypto Market Quick Glance. I mentioned it at the top of the show from Relic CK, killing it as always, showing us our levels, showing the moving averages, some technical analysis, and just reminding us to stay bullish, or at least while the charts tell us to anyway. But yeah, that was it. So get your blessings in for the contributors. Appreciate you guys cooking as always. But yeah, that's all I had. I guess one more thing I did want to ask you, Jake, if we're if we don't have any topics left, I was going to save it for the end because it's not too important. But I was going to ask if you had a take on Friendtech now that the token is out, and we've had price discovery for a little bit. I was going to see if you had any thoughts on the token or on the platform, its future or whatever.
Yeah, I'd say I don't have too strong feelings here. I'm like not very interested in it. I thought, it seemed like a pretty good buy when it was like max FUD on the timeline regarding the token. I think it got it to around like maybe 0.7, 0.75 or so was the bottom. Um and since then I think it did like a nice little 3x. Now it's back down a bit today, around 2.3 it looks like. Um But in general, I don't know if people are really using the product. Maybe they're farming a bit. I haven't honestly checked it out. It's really not very compelling to me. I don't really see much of a use case for friend tech. In my opinion, I feel like there's already social apps that work this exact same, that you don't have to pay for. That you're not getting like a fee taken from you. So um, personally, I'm like pretty bearish on friend tech, especially now that the token's out. Yeah, that's basically that's basically mine. My analysis right now. I'm not too interested in what they have going on now that the token's out, and I think it's probably at a level where it's found, its price discovery, and I don't personally see it like really elevating a ton from here unless they, I guess, add some new incentives.
Love it. Cool. Yeah, we're pretty aligned there. But hey, you never know. Good to hear other people's thoughts. Sometimes there's a zig when others zag. But yeah, I think that was the impression from the beginning was, hey, let's all 3-3 because of the airdrop. And then we kind of speculated once the airdrop happens, it's going to be -3, -3. So I wasn't sure if it's a bloodbath over there or not, or if everybody cooked off the airdrop. I dabbled. I was only active for about a month, but got a decent little chunk of change from that. So not bad. Papered it early, but can't be mad at free money though. So I would imagine, as long as people didn't buy the tops of rooms, I would imagine that you're all good. You're all gravy there. I would think that you got a pretty nice airdrop and as long as you didn't hemorrhage your funds, buying the tops during the hype cycles and stuff. But any friend tech, avid friend tech users or people that are still active over there, anybody want to jump in here? I'd love to hear the other side of the coin, if that exists. All right, no defenders. Kill it dead. Take it out back behind the barn. Claim the airdrop. Move on. Well, cool. Jake, did you have anything else for the episode, or anybody in the audience want to jump in and ask any questions or anything? Anything going on this week?
No, that was it for me. Would love to hear if there's any other topics that um, any of you members want to cover.
Yeah, beautiful. We're at the top of the hour here, but we'll just, I'm not in any rush, so we can just kick it out to you guys. If anybody has any questions, topics, trends, hit us. You got us for the next few minutes here. Okay, Ryan's telling us we can't ignore him, and then we need to weigh in on the Drake versus K. Dot beef. I have receipts on Jake for having the ice coldest take of all time. The first question I asked him on Circle Tech was Drake or Kendrick, and he went with Drake. Now I'll give him credit. That was a week ago or so. It was a couple days ago. So new things have come to light. But man, what a bad take. K. Dot's eating him up.
I don't know about that. I'm still going Drake.
Oh man,
I honestly am not paying attention to the beef though. I don't really care at all.
Oh, you're fine. I can give you a summary. I already hit Mac with it. He came back from vacation. I was catching him up on everything. I'm like, oh, by the way, Drake is allegedly a predator or a slash pedophile. He's like, what the fuck? It's just it's not what you expect in the catch up, but TLDR here, man. Kendrick is up like 6 diss tracks to Drake's like 3, which one of them was taken down, and it's been brutal, man. Drake's been all cocky and taunting and gloating. And he dropped, his big, I guess what he thought was going to be his kill shot in a song called Family Matters. And 15 minutes later, Kendrick dropped a full response called Meet the Grams, which picks apart his entire family and raps directly to them one at a time. Pretty fucking wild. I don't know. It's like probably one of the most exhilarating and entertaining events to happen in rap, probably at least in this decade. It's been fucking insane.
I think you're forgetting Drake's last response. Which is the only one I've even heard, which was last night.
We did
What was
drop one,
that?
yeah.
Heart Part 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was trash, dude. Yeah, so, okay, sorry, I didn't include it in the recap. Yeah, so Drake's most recent response after being accused of, having another mystery kid, another daughter, being a predator, employing people with, sexual assault allegations and stuff. His response was basically just, I'm too famous to be accused of this, as if we are not in the era of, Diddy and Epstein and like all this crazy shit that's going on. I mean, hell, even Michael Jackson, you know what I mean? Which has been like a through reference that they both used this entire time. I mean, he's the biggest, most famous person on the planet, and he was accused of this shit. So pretty wild take from Drake. But yeah, we'll see how the dust settles. But the memes are going fucking crazy. The real winner, the real W, is J. Cole, who just like redacted his diss and bowed out at the very beginning of this. He's just like smelling the flowers and riding his bicycle around the city and shit while Kendrick picks apart Drake's family.
The real winner, bro, in this Drake versus K. Dot beef is us, bro. Nobody else. We're winning. We get to live through this and peaceful, well, not peacefully, we listen to it, talk about it, and hear these guys just tear each other apart. We haven't had a good beef in forever. It's just been everybody playing nice and making songs together and respecting each other for the last 20 years, and all of a sudden we have a really good fucking beef, so let's just enjoy it.
The real winner were the Los Angeles Clippers because Kendrick dropped a track right in the middle of the game, and the embarrassing loss was much swept under the rug, more so than it should have been. So yay.
Yeah, like Ranch's comment here. It's generally the take from the Heart Part 6. Drake said a couple things where I don't know if his ghostwriters wrote him and he didn't like triple read it or something. Cause like, yeah, it's a great example. He's like, yeah, I knew you'd try to call me a predator and shit. It's like, why'd you know that, bro? What the fuck? hold on. What are you saying about yourself here? Pretty crazy. But I just love the internet, man. I love immediately hitting the comment section on these and just like seeing people's takes. One of my favorites was Kendrick, the type of dude that like sees you from across the street and disappears when the bus drives by. Man, I was fucking cackling laughing because he's just on full villain mode. Shit's crazy. So there you go. All caught up on the rap beef. Drake is in a hard camp to defend right now, but I guess we'll see until we get receipts. All this stuff is just two really rich guys writing poems about each other.
Yeah, Drake's taking a hit, but at the same time, the thing with it is that everybody's piling on against Drake. Like everybody at first, everybody thought it was just a beef to like get more attention and to make more money. But then you start realizing that everybody's against Drake and everybody fucking hates his guts. I don't know. I think he's the only real loser here. Everybody else is gonna win, and him. I guess he's never really gonna lose because Drake can do his own thing and still make millions. But yeah, I feel like they're singling him out a lot. Everybody's just piling up against him.
Yeah, seems like a coordinated attack. It's like Infinity Wars or something of the rap game. Everybody's ganging up. It's kind
Yeah.
of fucked up. In that Family Matters video, he crushed the van. He took the van from the Mad Kid or Good Kid, Mad City cover and fucking crushed it. Took it to the impound lot. That was kind of fucked up. But that's just petty levels that only Drake would be on.
He is a scummy guy sometimes.
All right, fellas. Well, for editing and recording purposes, I think we'll go ahead and cut the episode here. We've got the Blast Alpha stuff to look out for the week, and then also we're all cut up on our rap beefs. So I think we're squared. I think we're ready for Kendrick to drop, and we're ready for blast farming and stuff. So appreciate everybody rolling through. We'll see you guys same time next week as always, 12 Eastern on Monday. Jake, any final words, man? Send us home.
Keep on farming blast. I think it's a big cook. Y'all.
Let's go. Thanks, everybody.